Hey, happy NFL football day, Sunday, everyone. I'm pouring my glass of lump and coal because I've been naughty this year. That's right. The brew of the day. Get in there, lump of coal, dark holiday stout. And so this is picked it up at Cost Plus World Market, and it's a big old 1.9 or 1.9 ounces. And I think it only has it has a 7.5. I thought I got the one that had a little bit less in it. That was like 4.5, but 7.5 ABV. Happy football Sunday, everyone. Happy Sunday to you, Dave. Just thought I'd start out the show. It's kind of parsed a little bit. We were talking pregame, pre-show, and just wanted to get a little sip in there. But I gotta tell you, this is good stuff. I mean, when you pay $9 for a bottle of beer, it better taste good, and it tastes much better than that Guinness I had a couple of weeks ago. So good morning to you. So how you doing, man? And share what you got as a brew when you're ready. Get the show going.
Man, I'm doing good because we already played on Thursday and won the NFC West, clinched a playoff berth, so I'm going to celebrate. Got my reliable old friend here. And I have today, mine was not $8 or $9. It was $5.50. But Samuel Smith's Winter Welcome Ale.
Oh, look at that!
British ale, nice, pretty label. Says on the back here, brewed by Samuel Smith, small traditional British brewery, the oldest brewery in Yorkshire. And then I will pour it out here and taste it for the first time. Trying to see says it's imported from Tacoma, Washington. That is where my mother-in-law is from. She grew up in Tacoma, Washington, so that's pretty cool that's where they import that out. And I'm looking all over. Where is the ABV on this thing? Maybe they don't have to put it on the bottles. I thought you had to put them on all of them. 6%. There it is. It's on the back. 6%. That might be a little darker, but it is an ale. It's got a nice
golden
color to it. Pours a nice head on there. Let's see. Oh, yeah.
Good stuff.
Maybe one of the better ones I've had in a while.
Yeah, we both went with imports this week. Yours is imported from Tacoma. I guess from the UK. Mine's from the United Kingdom in Oxfordshire. And so we went with the imports for our holiday. The Shires.
I got the Yorkshire.
Yorkshire, Oxfordshire.
That's delicious. I might go back and grab some more of these. This is really good. Like I said, this is probably one of the better ones I've had for a while. I'll have to save the last drink for my wife so she can taste it.
Yeah, this is quite toasty. I guess they can make pretty good brews over there in the UK. So, all right. So, hey, football fans, good morning, everyone that's already joining the show. Good morning, Amy. It's been a while. Thanks for joining us. Kim, as always, good to see you. Jim and Cindy, good morning and welcome to the show. I'm going to do something a little bit different with my picks today because, hey, it doesn't really matter. Although I didn't do too bad last week. I
did.
I think I got to get over to that page. I think so I 7-6, just above 500, and you were, yeah, we don't even need to say that out loud. But I did, the good thing about that is I picked up 3 games. I was able to get back up in front of you after you took the overall annual lead from me last week. And so got a 2-game lead on you there. And so Amy's just boarded her flight. We'll reconnect if I get booted off. Hope you're going somewhere fun and warmer than Arizona. Well, it's 49 now, but it's been down to like 33 at night. And tried to play golf early last week, and they had a frost delay. So I had to come back in the afternoon and play a late round.
Well, it looks like Chuck got booted off here. I'm sure he hit a wrong button. So I think he'll probably get back on here soon.
So I just booted myself out of the studio here by swiping back on my mouse there. Anyway, on with the football. So hey, yeah, so we've already had 4 games this week since we had a holiday, or not a holiday, but a Saturday shootout with a few games yesterday going on, and as you already mentioned, the Niners game on Thursday, and so we both got our picks on that. I think we both took the Niners, and we both won that game, and so we were feeling good going into Saturday. Few games yesterday. Yeah, I was checking. We had family from out of state in town. Big surprise get together, breakfast here. And so I was just kind of periodically checking in on the Vikings game, and I was like, man, what a bad pick we made. Colts are just running them. And then the last thing I saw, next opportunity I saw, was overtime, 36-36. Crazy game, Dave.
And I felt really bad. I basically had turned the game off for a while because it was 33-0 at halftime. And so I was like, oh man, I'll do some stuff around the house here and do some laundry and this and that. And I'll check the score, and in about half an hour, see if anything happened, mainly just for fantasy knowledge. Anybody score, that I'm playing against or anything like that. I did have Kirk Cousins in one of my leagues. So I kind of, was keeping an eye on how he was doing, which he hadn't done anything yet the whole half. So, I wasn't expecting a lot. And then I checked out the score. I think I text you after the game, just like a Vikings exclamation question mark, because biggest comeback in NFL history. And really, I was kind of upset about it. I mean, it was amazing to watch. I recorded it, so I went back and watched the second half after it was over. But I didn't want it to happen to Jeff Saturday and that Colt team. I mean, that they've had such a tough year already, and to be out 33-0, it was like, oh, well, I mean, I'm thinking the first half, like, holy crap, is Jeff Saturday going to get like a contract after this season?
Right.
Like if you can go out and win by 33 against a team that's supposed to win their division and go to the playoffs, man, this guy might be legit. This team might be playing for this guy. You might want to sign this guy to a 3-year contract, something like that. Give him a shot to actually be the head coach.
Right.
And then they come back, biggest comeback in NFL history. Go, ooh, maybe now that clinches that you don't sign him, because he just had the biggest comeback against him in NFL history. Maybe you don't sign him to a long contract. But it was just like, oh my gosh, Kim's absolutely right. But it was just crazy to watch that comeback. I mean, and it just goes to show in football too. I mean, 3 and out, other team scores in 3 minutes. 3 and out, other team scores in 4 minutes. It doesn't take that long, really. It didn't seem like it took that long for them to get right back in it after they got rolling. But that's the thing, though. I mean, if the Colts had 33 in the first half, you saw a bad team can score 33 points in one half. So why can't a good team score 33 or more in the second half? So
right,
just so wild, just so wild with and the Vikings clinched the division with that win. So they're your NFC North champions, and they're in wild.
Yeah, and I was really rooting for the Colts. I didn't think they stood a chance. We lost that game because it was a 4-point spread, and it ended at 3 points. And I was going through all the scenarios. Okay, pick 6. In overtime, I need a pick 6. Dave and I do, so we both took the Vikings. So yeah, that spread was 4, so we lost that. The other game I did not get to see this game. The Ravens and the Browns. So Deshaun Watson gets his first win as a Brown, and I think so. I think that was his first win as a Brown. But 13-3 over the Ravens that had Huntley playing, and still I think a banged up Huntley at that because Lamar Jackson is still out. But it's I still honestly think the Ravens should have been able to win this game with a backup. Honestly, you could say, yeah, pay Lamar Jackson. Obviously, that team goes the way he goes, and but that's not the way football teams should be built. And so you should be able to have a backup come in and at least be 66% productive. And against a Browns team, I think, with still a newer quarterback in the system, I still think that the Ravens should have been able to win this game handily, but they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch much of this game. This game was just not good football, really, to watch at this point in the season. Like you said, Watson's still trying to figure things out. The Ravens had the backup in. They only generated 3 points. I mean, it was a very defensive game, kind of a sloppy game. Nothing really big to see here, but the Ravens are another one of those teams, backup or not. I mean, you have other teams that have backups in too. It's the way the season goes. Guys get hurt throughout the year, but there's several of these teams, and we'll probably talk more about it as we go through our picks this week. The Ravens are one of those teams that started off pretty well, haven't played so great. The last handful of games. Some other teams like that, even the Vikings, they got that win yesterday, but they didn't play well.
Right.
And they're a division champion. So there's some teams that started off pretty hot that are really cooling down. The Falcons look like they might be able to take the Bucs in the NFC South. Now they look terrible. Giants and I think the Commanders, they play tomorrow night, I believe, or tonight. I don't know if they're the night game or the Monday night game. They might be
tonight's game.
Tonight's game.
Yeah.
But that's a big game. But both of those teams came out real quick this season playing well, and now I would say the Commanders are maybe playing a little bit better, and we'll get into that with the pick, but the Giants aren't as well as they started off. I mean, there's just some teams. Seahawks aren't quite as good as they started off. The Titans are definitely not as good as they started off. A lot of teams that have decent records because maybe they had some easy games at the start of the season, but they're looking worse at the end of the season than they did at the start of the season. So real interesting season this year, and there's some teams you'd never believe that we'll get to that are still in playoff contention, wild cards and stuff. So crazy year, but yeah, that Ravens-Browns thing just kind of shows it. I mean, still anyone could beat anyone, a lot of these weeks, even at the end of the year.
Yeah, and this is really where you see it. I mean, last year Cardinals were really good, 10-2, and then fell apart and had to fight for their lives in a wild card and lose it. But yeah, so it kind of injuries this time of year, just the attrition of players that go through the season. So, but yeah, so we actually won this game. So we because we both picked the Browns here. The last game yesterday was the Dolphins and the Bills. This was the game from the morning. I'm like, it's going to be snowy, or I'm going to see our first snow game. And I was so excited. I'm going to be honest with you. Leela started a movie. I put the game on my iPad. And I said, there's no freaking snow on the field. I'm done. And I turned the game off for, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes. And then I turned it back on my iPad and to watch the game. But I really wanted to see a snow game. And I'm like, did it not snow? But then I saw snow all piled up around the edges. The fans were throwing snowballs, up in the air. And I was like, they're showing shots outside. I was like, there's plenty of snow. You have a team coming in from Florida where it does not snow. It rains. Why do you have a home field advantage? You have an outdoor stadium where it snows because that is an advantage to you and your organization. Why would you not leave some snow on the field? I honestly, this game was much closer than it should have been. The Dolphins very easily could have won this game. And I just thought that if there was an opportunity to leave a couple inches of snow on the field, you do that. to take advantage. I mean, if you're saying, oh, well, that hurts us just as much as it hurts the Dolphins. No, it doesn't, because you live there in that climate. You play, you practice, you play, you're outside when you're going to the grocery store, all of those things that you live your life around that area. That is your home field advantage. That is your fans' advantage. They love the snow. You could tell they were throwing snowballs. And as you said earlier, they had up on the big Jumbotron, that'll be an unsportsmanlike conduct, or, penalty if you are throwing snowballs or snow onto the field and such. So, but yeah, I don't know what you thought about this game.
Yeah, it was awesome. I love snow game. I watched this game with my wife, and I was just telling her where we're from. It was, I think, 27 degrees there. I thought it was a lot colder the way they were freaking out about the weather, and then I saw it was 27. And I was like, oh, that's not bad.
Right.
I was like, it's cold. Don't get me wrong. It's below freezing, but I've played in games of sleet and ice hit me in the face, and it was like 8 degrees. I wasn't getting paid millions of dollars to do that. I was just in high school. So, but like, if you haven't played the game before, especially in those conditions, you don't get it. Like, everything hurts. Every single play hurts. Every time you get hit, it hurts. Everything stings. I mean, you're basically in pain the entire game unless your adrenaline can get high enough to overcome it. And they have really nice heaters and thermal jackets. And people running and getting them hot cocoa and asking how many marshmallows they want in it on the sideline. Like, we barely had enough coats for the team in weather like that. Like, you might have to share off if you're on the sidelines, because we didn't have enough coats that were crappy ones to keep you warm. You'd have to trade out. Like, okay, I get to wear it for 5 minutes and you get to wear it for 5 minutes. Like, it's a different monster, man, playing in that kind of weather with your footing. And like I said, you're freezing cold. Everything hurts. I mean, it's just a whole different environment when you play in a game like that.
Yeah, our hand warmers was putting your hands down the front of your football pants.
In your armpits.
Yeah.
Yeah, or in your crotch. Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, that was the 1980s version of NFL hand warmers. And but for small football programs.
Yeah.
So anyway, Bills pull it out in the end, and walk-off field goal. It was snowing hard. I just wish it was snowing hard. Started snowing 30 minutes before the game like that. That game would have been, I thought, maybe a little bit. The spread would have, I think, been a little bit more in favor of the Bills.
Yeah, and I'm going to make a bold statement after watching this game too. It's almost a toss-up right now, but Josh Allen might be my favorite quarterback to watch. I mean, that dude throws it. He gets out of the pocket. He runs down the field and will put his shoulder into a strong safety. I mean, that dude's a stud. I mean, he was built for that type of game. Strong arm, get out of the pocket. He'll run. He doesn't just run out of bounds every time.
Right.
He'll put his shoulder down. That dude's a football player. So, I mean, between probably him and Mahomes, it's like 1A, 1B as far as funnest quarterback to watch in the league, probably right there. Two young guys. And I feel really great. I mean, we got Rodgers and Brady going out real soon. Those two guys are the face of the league moving forward, Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen and Joe Burrows. I mean, there's some pretty good young guys that should be, taking the torch from those Hall of Famers that are leaving here, some good young quarterbacks.
Yeah, no, I was impressed with, and again, leagues are trying to protect quarterbacks, but this guy runs like a running back or anyone else, kind of, not as smooth as a lot of them, but I mean, he's not afraid of contact, and, him jumping over the top for that touchdown and, just getting in front of that line, the end line. He's a baller, and you could tell. I think that's what it is. He's kind of a baller. It's like, I'm just gonna do whatever I got to do to help us win. And so that gets us through. We already had 5 games this week, and it's not even Sunday. Football Sunday hasn't even begun yet. I'm sorry, 4 games. And and you and I are at 50%. I told you ahead of time, so I took a 2-game lead. I'm going to do something different today, and we'll get to that. I'm basically going to put it's been a horrible year for me. I'm going to take 1 week, and just 1 week only, and I'm going to put my picks up to just chance. And so, and the first one off that is the Falcons are going to go play the Saints. So the Falcons have sat Marcus Mariota, and sorry, I gotta share my screen again here. Marcus Mariota sitting. Saints are at home, and the weather will be nice inside the dome there. I would normally take the Saints probably here, but you know what? I'm gonna flip a coin, and heads is always going to be the first team. Tails will always be the second team, and I'm going to flip a coin for all my picks today. So heads is the first team, and I'm just gonna click over here and see what we got. And so it looks like I'm taking the Falcons today, and for this game. No, not the one I would have picked, but I'm taking the. You never know. I mean, it's for the way I've been picking this year. Really, both of us. It's not been a good year. So I guess I'm taking the Falcons this week.
Well, I will not be using an animated coin to make my picks this week, but I probably should, or a real coin. But I was going to take the Saints just because the Falcons did sit Mariota. It's a rookie quarterback. I don't know what's going to happen, but we're this late in the season. Plus, the Saints need something desperately to give to their fans the end of this season. A division win at home. It might only be 3. That 4 points kind of sucks as the number. I wish it was just a field goal, especially the way the Saints have been playing. I have Alvin Kamara on my fantasy team. It was really hard for me to figure out if I wanted to play him this week as a running back or a flex just because he literally hasn't done anything for the last handful of games for the Saints. So I'm hoping he picks it up in this game and they just, I don't know, the Christmas miracle happens a week early for the New Orleans Saints, and they can get a home win for those fans against a Falcon team, like I said earlier, started off real well, and then I don't know what happened. They've just last like 5 games or so just been terrible.
Yeah, so so the next one up that we got, this is gonna be tough if the system doesn't help me out here. But the Eagles and the Bears, Eagles are gonna go visit the Bears in Chicago. A nice chilly 19 degrees in Chicago, but partly sunny, and chance of snow flurries after 4:00 today. So this game, will be early. So not really a chance of snow unless it comes early. But who you got here?
These weather games, I picked the Bills, and that was 7.5 against a good team in bad weather. I feel like these weather games usually aren't a blowout. Usually there's not a lot of offense that happens. It seems like the defense has the advantage, but with all that, Justin Fields in a cold day, he can run around back there if he can get out of the pocket, but all of that's going to be tough. The Eagles' defense is pretty good. I want to take the Bears, but I think I still have to take the Eagles. The Bears are just awful. I mean, other than Justin Fields running for 200 yards and a couple scores, I can't see them scoring. And the Eagles scored pretty easily. So got to take the Eagles even though it's 9. They're just a much, much better team.
Oh, absolutely they are. And I think both of these teams can do fine in the weather. And I'm okay if it actually picks tails here. It does so I'm taking the Bears in this game. The Bears have had been all right at home, so I'm okay with that. I think the Eagles are going to win this game, no doubt. And but hopefully the Bears can keep it close to a touchdown or a field goal, and I can sneak away with a chance win. Lions Jets. So the Lions are going to go visit the Jets, and I don't know it's New York weather, and I have no idea what the Jets game weather is. I can look real quick, and it's going to be cold. In East Rutherford, it is 39 degrees and cloudy.
Beautiful day. Chance
of flurries this afternoon. High near 40. So even if it snows, it's not. This game is. Lions I think are going to win this game, and they're favored by 1. I think it'll be greater than that. Please be an H. It is an H. I'm taking the Lions on the road against the Jets, and that's how I would have picked it.
Yeah, I'm taking the Lions too. They've been playing great. They have an outside shot still of earning a wild card. They keep rolling. The Jets, they're playing Zach Wilson again today because Mike White's out. Zach Wilson has not had a good career so far as a quarterback for the Jets, so definitely taking the Lions.
Yeah, Kim's going with the Jets, so she's going against the grain here. Kim's picking the win, though, not the spread, which is pretty much the same thing with the spread this week. Zach Wilson is QBing, enough said, Lions for the win. And, so the Lions are just – I don't know what they're feeding them there, what's in the water in Detroit, but, Dan, what's his name's got this team working well this year, and it didn't look good early on in the season. They look like the lowly Lions of Norm, and but they've definitely in the second half turned the season around and are putting up the points. And they were actually putting up points early in the season, just couldn't win football games. Now they've figured out how to win football games. So, all right, so we're on with the Lions, the Steelers, and the Panthers. The Panthers are actually favored by a couple at home. Didn't even get the home field 3 points. So these are two tough teams here. And who you got here?
I'm going to take the Panthers just for at home. They have been playing better lately. The Steelers, I don't even know if they knew their quarterback situation until game time today, really, which doesn't really matter. They haven't had great quarterback play really that much this year anyway. Haven't scored a lot of points this year. So I think just the Panthers, because they are at home, they have been playing pretty well. They've been running the ball pretty well even without McCaffrey. Defense has tightened up a little bit. So I'm going to just take the home Panther team.
Nice. If I were picking this, I would also take the Panthers at home, even though the Steelers have been finding a way to win. So let's see if I can get a T here. I did get a T. This is not scripted, folks. Chance and fate is working out for me, taking the Panthers. And good times there. Kim's got the Steelers, and Trubisky is QBing. Enough said. The Panthers for the win. And, if you can't, this late in the season, if you haven't figured out who your quarterback is, it's the same thing for the Jets, right? You're just playing the Russian roulette of QBs, I guess, who's the worst. And, you've got a lot to still figure out, especially in week 15. So, both on board with the Panthers. The Cowboys and the Jaguars. Now the Cowboys, I was pulling for the Texans last week. I think 90% of the country was looking at that upset last week. The Texans put on quite a show against the Cowboys, especially with some crazy spread last week, 14, 17 points, something. I mean, it was crazy. And we both took the Texans because it was just such a large spread, and the Cowboys almost lose the game going in. Now the Cowboys are going down to Jacksonville and going to be playing the Jaguars, who I can't pick at all in this. In whatever I pick in a Jaguars game, the opposite happens, and so I think I'll just go ahead and pick. So we've got. So I don't really care. I guess I'm taking the Jaguars. Taking the Jaguars today and to not lose by 5 points. And so that's going to be a tough one. But you know what? Jaguars week to week, you don't know who's showing up. And the Cowboys playing a tough game against the Texans. I mean, sure, coach probably said, don't worry about it, guys. Just take the week off, from practice ahead of the Texans game. And maybe it showed, but I think they'll have to take the Jaguars a little more seriously this week.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Cowboys in this one just because also if they win this game, they pretty much clinch a wild card spot. They're not going to catch the Eagles to win the division, NFC East. But I feel like the Cowboys, knowing they could basically clinch a playoff berth going in, nice weather, no problems. I think they do enough to get it done and win by a touchdown.
Yeah, I really like Robert's pick. Cowboys by 4, but the Jags with the spread. So, um, all right. So we got we're a separation of choices there. And so now we've got the Chiefs, and I think is the big spread of the week. It is 14 points over the Texans. Again, the Texans team that almost beat the Cowboys last week. The Chiefs and the Cowboys, I don't think are yet in the same league. I would easily take the Chiefs over the Cowboys as a much better team. And I think the Chiefs are going to drop a ton of points on the Texans. But I'm going to let you go ahead and pick first here.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Chiefs. I think Mahomes can light it up. They can have a big game. They're inside on the turf in Houston. Weather's not going to be a factor, and if you don't have any sort of outside factors against Mahomes, and you get Kelsey and you get those receivers and running backs at full speed inside, nice weather on turf, I think they can really run this score up a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I really agree with you here. And, oh, I'm clicking on the wrong image.
I like the bottom. It has the tally like you're playing roulette or something.
Right.
You can see the pattern.
So it looks like I'm with you on the Chiefs by 14. And I might have actually, again, the Texans have just had a way about keeping the score close each week. And I could probably see him doing it again, but we're both with the Chiefs this week, and we'll see how that turns out. So my lowly Cardinals, who I went to Monday Night Football last week, and they played an exceptional first half of football, even with Kyler Murray going down in the first 90 seconds of the game, and now is going to be out with the ACL. He'll struggle to be back by the beginning of the season next year. So lots to think about now in the offseason for the Cardinals. They'll obviously be riding Colt McCoy the rest of the season. I don't know that they didn't make any pickups this week. I don't know who. Actually, they've got their third string quarterback. I watched him play in preseason. Pretty good kid. And I really liked what I saw in the preseason game that I went to, or the game that I went to. Got to see him for a little over a quarter, and I was quite impressed with him. But anyway, they're riding Colt McCoy the rest of the season. Cardinals can't fight their way out of a paper bag. I'm surprised that they are actually favored in this game. The Broncos just keep close with everyone. I'm shocked that the Cardinals are favored on the road against Denver. I think you picked the last game first, right? I would be dumb here and take the Cardinals. Colt McCoy. So it looks like I'm going with the Broncos at home, but I could make an argument that Colt McCoy, full week with the first team. Being at that game, it seemed like the only play they had was throw it up the sidelines, just for a go get it ball. And I thought they just went to it too quick. He's a slinger. He likes to throw it down the field. Cliff Kingsbury, for whatever reason, Colt McCoy is the only guy that can throw the ball down the field. Kyler Murray is not allowed to, I'm going to say. Not that he can't. He's not allowed to. And they were doing that, and I'm like, at the game, I'm like, is this really the only play in the playbook right now is throw it up down the sideline? So I probably think the Cardinals here, but obviously I'm taking the Broncos. Chance has told me that I'm taking the Broncos this week.
Russell Wilson's out. I'm going to take the Cardinals. I think McCoy is going to be a better quarterback than Ripon is. Denver's still banged up at receiver. I don't even know if Sutton's going to play at this point. Why? They have 3 wins. They're also one of the teams. So today, if you've looked on the sports and drafts page throughout the week, throughout the season, I've been updating the standings and posting it. And right now, the Broncos are officially one of only 3 teams that are no longer eligible to make the playoffs mathematically.
Oh, you could put that other team out.
Oh yeah,
You
there's
don't
several that I could.
You don't
take
have to
off.
put the Raiders back.
So with 3 games left, them and Houston are actually the only two mathematically eliminated from not even being able to get a wild card. So I'll take them off because their seasons are done. So yeah, I just for that reason too, I got to take the Cardinals. I mean, Broncos don't have Russell, which who knows? Maybe that'll be better for them. How this season was going, but I can't ever pick the Broncos this season. So
Yeah.
I have to pick the Cardinals, and it's only 2.5.
Yeah, I think maybe I guess since the system chose for me, I'm hoping that this backup coming in is maybe just has a little more gel effect with the players and can make it happen. So I guess I'm okay with what the Cardinals winning by 2 or 1, and still my Cardinals get the win, and but I covered the spread. So moving on, Patriots and the Raiders. Patriots who just came off of a Monday night win against the Cardinals, who probably shouldn't have. They're playing the Raiders. The Raiders are favored at home by a single digit. This is I'm actually shocked they're favored at home in my eyes. I think I picked last time. Who you got here?
This was my hardest game when I looked at the spreads this week. It's a pick'em game. Patriots offense isn't great. Their running backs are a bit banged up. The Raiders have a bunch of talent, and they're home, and it's only 1. I mean, Devontae Adams or Josh Jacobs has a big game like they're capable of, or have had at certain times this year, could be enough to score points against that Patriot offense. But man, that Patriots defense shows up sometimes though too with Judon. I think it's because they're at home and it's only 1 point, and I just see a lot more talent there. I feel like the Raiders could pull this off. The Raiders Patriots go back with kind of a rivalry since the fumble of Brady in the playoffs. They kind of hate each other. So I'm going to take. I think it's going to be a lot of opportunity for the Raiders fans to really help out at home today. I'm gonna take the Raiders, I think, to win it by 1 and in an upset at home.
Okay. If I were actually picking this game myself, I would take the Patriots. If the Raiders ever have a 13-point lead in the game, I'd take the Patriots. If they never have a 13-point lead, I might take the Raiders, but I would still probably take the Patriots. But since I'm not actually picking this week, we're going to leave it to chance. I really hope I had to refresh the site, so all of these things down at the bottom went away because I couldn't get it to flip again. So it looks like I'm taking the Patriots, and that's how I would have picked it. Left to my own devices, would have taken the Patriots. So I just think, I think the Patriots defense can really win this game, and so we've got a little bit of separation there, right? You took the Raiders at home.
Yep.
And all right, so moving. I know we're getting down there, folks. Titans and the Chargers. Chargers in LA at home, got the home field advantage, and this is the Titans that just. I think they're realizing their age, their lack of skill. I would, again, left to my own devices, I'm taking I would take the Chargers, but it looks like I'm taking the Titans today. Oh, that's a painful one. This is what
you love the Titans.
Oh, I would never pick the Titans ever. Damn you, interweb. And online.stopwatch.com. Damn you. So I would have taken the Chargers here without a doubt, but you know what? Leaving it to chance, and Kim is got the Chargers to win today. And who you got here?
I'm gonna take the Chargers.
Of course you are.
I've just seen the Titans. They just seem to go the wrong way right now. They don't have great quarterback play. You need Derrick Henry to rush for at least 200 yards and 2 touchdowns for them to even have a chance to win the game. I think the Chargers can hold him on the road to under that. Plus, they have Justin Herbert, who after last week has the most passing yards in the first 3 seasons of any quarterback in NFL history.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am definitely going to go with the Chargers at home, and I hope Justin Herbert lights them up to put even. Think about that. So he's got the most passing yards in NFL history in the first 3 seasons of any NFL quarterback, right? He still has 4 games to play, counting today, in the season to put basically maybe that. I mean, that record, he could put it way out there with 4 games left.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he could put it way out there. He throws 300 in 4 more games.
Yeah, 1,200 yards. Yeah.
That's a big record to try to catch for anybody. So, yeah, Chargers, go bolt up, Chargers.
Yeah, so I have – is there a scenario here I can win without the Titans winning? No. Damn it. All right. So moving on to the next game, because I'll cry over that one.
A tie.
Right. Bengals going down to Tampa Bay, Florida, to play Tom Brady and the Bucks in Tom Brady's final season in the NFL. I'm calling that. There's no reason he needs to come back, and because it's not going to get better for him. He should have went out on top, but he didn't. Here we are, Bengals Bucks 3.5 on the road for the Bengals. And who you got here?
I'm going to take the Bengals. I think this late in the season, the Bengals are making a run kind of like they did last year. They're getting better and better every week. They're getting healthier. Joe Mixon was back last week and played pretty well his first game back off of injury. I think you're going to see the Bucks look very slow. I think the Bengals are going to, if you watch this game, the Bengals are going to look very, very fast on the field compared to the Bucks. So I am taking the Bengals.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And, but the last two, because I did a test H before when I refreshed the site. So there's probably no way I'm getting another H in here.
On Triple H's.
3
in a row.
Damn it. Oh. Taking the Bucks at home. And so you know what? I'm gonna go with because I was gonna say if it said the H and I could take the Bengals, I'd say yeah, you're absolutely right. The youth and the speed is gonna outdo the age of the Bucks. But now I have to say that the experience of the Bucks will keep this game within a field goal or a win. So, all right, having a good time here today. All right, so 2 games left. So tonight we have the Giants and the Commanders. And Giants are going on to the road to play the Commanders. Commanders are 4.5-point favorites at home. And, can they win at home? We just don't know. We're going to know right now that the Commanders are going to cover 4.5 at home. And the interweb has stated, and if you think, chance is 50-50, I've got 4 tosses here, and I've got 2 heads and 2 tails. But, honestly, the Giants are just playing inconsistent football. And I think the Commanders have been a lot more consistent this year. 4.5 might be a stretch. I would have loved to have seen this game around 3 in favor of the Commanders. But I think they've still played more consistent than the Giants, but the Giants can score some points. So what do you think here?
The weather might be a little bit rocky here too in Washington. I'm not sure, but I'm going to take Washington because, like you said, I think they're playing more consistently. Also, they have more weapons. I think you got Robinson and Gibson in the backfield. You got Samuel and McLaurin at receiver. Just a lot of guys that can really, get you some more offensive yards for the Commanders and the Giants. Giants still have basically Saquon Barkley, and that's it. I mean, they don't have a consistent go-to receiver on that squad. Daniel Jones isn't, a world beater by any means at the quarterback position right now. Heineke has that Heineke magic for the Commanders. So I'm going to take the Commanders.
Yeah, I was actually just trying to look here on my site, and it's 32 degrees clear, and
Just cold.
yeah, it's just no threat of snow that it says, so just cold and basic Arizona weather. Uh, don't need that. All right, so we got one last game. I picked? Yeah, I picked first. So we both got the Commanders, yeah?
Yep.
All right. So tomorrow night, Rams, Packers. Packers are favored by 7.5 at home.
Coming off a bye.
And I just kind of want to. I was just on the site and I left it. Stadium forecast: chance of snow flurries. So today, tonight, tomorrow. So Monday night, partly sunny, high near 23. Monday night, snow likely mainly after midnight. So probably not a lot of chance for snow. Just cold weather in the 20s and a low of 17. So it'll be a cold game for the Rams. Going from the semi-warm West Coast to the east, further east, Great Lakes area. So who picked? I picked first last. Who you got here?
That is a big spread for a Ram team who actually stayed in the game last week.
They won the game last week.
The game before that, they stayed in it.
But they didn't have Baker Mayfield the game before that.
That's true.
They're undefeated with Baker Mayfield.
I have down here the Rams just because 7.5 basically, and the Packers aren't good. Unless Aaron Jones goes crazy. I mean, they definitely have a home field advantage at Green Bay for sure against this bad Rams team. They're coming off a bye, all that. But all that being said, the Packers still haven't been good this year. I just feel like the Rams could keep it close just the way they've played the last couple weeks. I think the Rams do want to have some pride and don't want to be absolutely terrible all season. So I'm kind of hoping this is a low-scoring game. We get into field goals, and maybe the Packers win by 6, a couple of field goals, or a touchdown and a missed extra point or something. 7.5 is quite a bit. So I'm going to take the Rams just because of the spread.
Yeah, if I were picking this game, I'd take the Rams because of the spread for sure. But you know what? Baker's played in Cleveland. He's not afraid of cold weather, and he didn't get much of a chance there in Carolina with what they have going on there with talent and injury. I'll tell you what, Baker Mayfield has more to prove than Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers is at the end of his career. Baker Mayfield is hitting his prime. He has to prove something. And honestly, he's got the talent. I don't know. I should have looked to see if Aaron Donald's back, but it doesn't really matter because guess what? I'm not picking. I really hope this comes up as an H because I'm really 50-50. I haven't changed anything, so we still got the 2 H's, 2 T's. I'm really hoping this is an H. And damn it. Damn you, Interweb. I hate Interweb. Honestly, I want this. I want to get a loss on this game. I want to take the loss and see the Rams not only cover but win the game here. And because I think they can do it. I really do. So, but hey, picks are in and they're locked, and we'll see. This could be my best week of the year, and I may want to stick with this, but I won't. But honestly, the coin flip, other than maybe 1 or 2 times, is pretty much stayed with me for the picks I might have made. So
it's going to be real interesting. It's going to be a real interesting week too, as far as our pick tally. We have 8 games that are different this week. That's like maybe double what it normally is. Yeah, so we have 8 different games this week.
Wow.
And so that's going to could be a huge swing at the end of the season. Who knows? Maybe I win 4, you win 4. but there is a chance for a big swing in picks this week with 8 different.
Yeah, and so I'm probably with my luck, I'm going to have to be pulling it out the last couple of weeks of the season, and to catch back up to you because 4 games gives you a two game lead on me, and so what's your game of the week?
Let's see, game of the week. Well, my 2 games of the week already happened: the Dolphins and the Bills and the Niners Seahawks. But as far as today, I think I'm going to have to take the night game and go with Giants Commanders. Both of these teams are still in a wild card hunt, even though 2 of their teams are pretty much already in. The Eagles and the Cowboys probably clinch soon one of the wild cards, but we got the Seahawks that are still lingering around for a playoff spot in the NFC. You got both the Giants and Commanders are in the hunt for one of those wild cards. The Lions, Packers, if they get a win today, they're not dead. So that game really means a lot, that Giants Commanders game, because both those teams need a win to stay in that wild card hunt.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with you with the importance of that game. And if you're watching either today or later, watching the rebroadcast, put in your comments what your game of the week is as well. And but actually, my game of the week is the Eagles Bears game, and I'd actually hopefully I have the ability to watch that game, or if not, I can watch it on NFL Red Zone. See some updates there, but. Yeah, that and tomorrow night's game, the Rams Packers. I think it'll be a fun game to watch, and I'm really still holding out for a super snowy game. I think the NFL might have gotten a little bit soft if we're focused on keeping a field clear for everyone. And but we've got Titans Chargers obviously for Robert and. That should be a really good game, and I just hope Justin Herbert just goes lights out with that. Unfortunately, that's one of the picks the interweb said that I'm going with the Titans, but I think I don't think I have a chance to win that with the Chargers still winning. And so have a great football Sunday, Kim, and of course you're going with the Chargers Titans, being a Chargers faithful, and thank you to. The imported lump of coal stout, and that was actually quite tasty. I would actually, if it was actually a little more affordable, I would actually enjoy purchasing this. And the Samuel Smith Brothers kind of thinks that it's a spinoff of Sam Adams, but no, it's great label, great beer. A couple of imports for Dave and I today. So we will actually be having a show on Christmas Day. So please plan accordingly, opening your gifts, going to breakfast, do all that stuff. So you're all done, ready for football Sunday with football beer. That's why we're here. Show and join Dave and I next Sunday at 9 a.m. on the West Coast. I don't know that we need to see the Rams-Packers spread any longer. So hugs for your family. Thank you, Kim. And same to you. Merry Christmas, everyone. And we will have our kids here this week and our grandkids. So we are looking forward to that. And have a fantastic football day, everyone. Dave, any last words?
Just have a great week. Have a great week leading up to the holiday. Hopefully you get some days off. You get to be around some folks that you love and want to have some fun with. And just, we'll be here with our orange cinnamon rolls, 9 a.m., ready to go for a good Christmas day on next Sunday.
All right. With that, everyone, have a fantastic football Sunday, and we will see you in 1 week. Take care, everyone.